Hey everybody, welcome to the QuiverCast.
You go left, I go right. Man, this wave is out of sight. Going surfing, going surfing, going surfing with friends.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the QuiverCast. We are stoked doing a segment for the Oceanside International Film Festival, movie maker and the featured starring guest. The movie maker is Chris Brosan, living in Oceanside, California, and it's featuring shaper, surfer, Isaac Cluphf.
Mm-hmm.
You guys made a film, Glass.
We did.
How did that project start?
Yeah, so like the film goes back to probably the film festival last year that I was invited to attend because I just showed up for a photography exhibit they did to promote it, and I was like, man, maybe I'll put a photo in here next year or something. But I talked to some of the people that were promoting it and everything like that, and a week later they sent me some tickets to go check it out, and so I sat there through a couple of the blocks, and the whole time I was thinking, like, maybe I could do this. And then, when I left there, I went over to Sancho's where Isaac bartends, and I was like, dude, let's make a movie, man. And it took a little convincing because, I don't know, we're both a little bit, I guess, more introverted and stuff, and had never done any of it before. Yeah, that's just kind of how the idea formed. And then, I was like, let's just shoot some shaping. It turned into a way bigger project than it was supposed to be, but the whole goal was really to get it into this film festival. It's all centered around Oceanside. Isaac shapes in a barn over on Ivy Ranch Park. Just a lot of the filler stuff, all local Oceanside stuff. So,
and Isaac, so were you stoked on the project? Why were you so hesitant?
It's one of those things that I think, like, I'm still new, obviously. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I'm any sort of big time. It's still like a learning process and all that. And it's like hard to convince myself that I feel like I'm at the point where I want people to like see a lot more of this going on.
Yep.
So it's like, I'm just nervous, just getting more out there and stuff,
Yeah. Was the process fun, guys? You guys can answer that separately.
Filming is fun, man.
Filming's fun. Okay.
That part I enjoy, and it's like, and even with photography and stuff, like editing is just, photography editing is one thing. At least like a photo is done when it's done. Like a video it's just so different, and this was my first attempt at any of it. So I had got a new camera last year, so I had to learn pretty much all of it. I never used DaVinci Resolve before, so a lot of the color grading, everything for this new camera and everything, I learned on the go. And so a lot of kind of the transitions that I try to throw into it, it was a big learning experience for kind of both of us in terms of like, how to film each other and like just, get some shots that work, and sound too. Like sound's a whole nother rabbit hole, as I'm sure you know. Yeah, so mostly it was a fun process, but it was also pretty challenging to get the whole thing pulled together, in time to submit it. So
when did the process start?
What, like May?
Okay.
Yeah,
May
early summer.
2025, yeah.
Okay. Did you have an idea for the film, or were you guys kind of work in progress?
I'd taken some photos of Isaac shaping a board for me in his old garage.
Okay.
And like, I don't know, you see all this stuff, like cool stuff on Instagram or whatever around shaping and glassing and stuff like that. And it's just something cool to shoot. And Isaac's an interesting dude. Like I met him out in the water, riding like some watermelon board, right? It was one of these juice boxes.
It was the original of this.
Yeah, so it was a juice box square board, but the top was green and everything, and the bottom was like pink with seeds, and it looked, it was pretty. Cool. It was pretty funny. That's how I met him. I was like, dude, who's shaping this shit? And he was like, I did. And I was like, okay, so yeah.
How did you get into shaping, Isaac?
I got into the whole idea of shaping way before I lived in a coastal state. Like I shaped my first surfboard in my parents' garage in Southern Illinois.
Okay.
So it was one of those things, the internet, watching YouTube videos as a kid. I wasn't like big obsessions, not a wide range of interests, just like really obsessed with a couple things. And that one, when I was like 12 or 13, just hit me really hard. I just watched one little thing on it, and then it just spiraled, and my whole life after that point was trying to figure out how to get the heck out of Illinois, get to California, and figure out how to do this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And we'll go back to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have Chris with the camera on you.
Yeah.
Watching you work. How does that feel?
It's something to get used to. Like it's after doing it a few times, it gets a little less, I stopped thinking about it so much.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you gotta the first couple times it's really hard to get out of your head, like thinking about what you might look like while you're doing it, because it's not something I've ever had to think about. You got to think about like actively trying to not be like too weird, but like just weird enough.
Was it intimidating?
At first, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just like, I don't know, not maybe became natural, but like.
Yeah, we just winged it, man. Like, at some point, it was like, man, we're kind of in it now. We just got to do it. Yeah, I mean, I guess the interview parts that we did were probably the like least organic of it all. Where like, I don't know, like I said, we're both kind of introverted and don't really like to talk about ourselves a whole lot. You know, there had to be some kind of commentary in it, so that was probably the least organic part. You know, Isaac kind of killed it with some of the answers he threw around on those, and like it was all, you know, we didn't rehearse any of it. I didn't even give him the questions beforehand. It was just like, let's just do this, and you know, the whole thing was a little bit intimidating. We're definitely, you know. I'm an amateur at filmmaking. I think Isaac's kind of proved himself a lot in the shaping realm. Okay. I don't know. All in all, I think it came together pretty well. I don't know if you're ever like super happy with the way like something turns out. It could always be different. It could always like 100%. Have more time for editing or changes and stuff. But we just had to finish this project, and Isaac probably feels the same way about his boards. But like it's, you know,
without giving the whole short film away, what's the basic concept? It touches on Oceanside, touches on Isaac shaping. Is that basically the concept of it?
You know, we got this blue juice box board here that Isaac calls them. You know, they're pretty square shaped, mini Simmons type of boards. I guess he could probably tell you a lot more about it. But twin fins, you know, this was kind of the centerpiece of the whole film. We called it the blue board throughout the entire process, pretty much. The first thing we shot was the shaping part of the board, and that was like one day it just kind of using the planer and getting those shots that were pretty cool. You know, another day on glassing, then finishing and stuff like that. It was a couple month process of just shooting. Yeah, the kind of main point of the movie is this board, but then also, you know, Isaac's shaping and introspective thoughts as he's doing it. And then just like a bunch of B-roll around Oceanside. So if you're from this area, like you'll recognize pretty much every shot that I have in there. And like that's stuff that I probably take from my photography side that I incorporated more into video. So there's a bunch of cool shots around this cool little eclectic town.
So I'm looking forward to seeing the movie, the short. I have not seen it, but I have seen the trailer, and it looks rad. Not only Oceanside, but Southern California centric. That's the way I perceived it, at least. Were you having fun with the process, Isaac?
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things.
You kind of let your hair down?
Yeah, once you get used to it a little bit, and then it's like I can get into my flow state, which is rambling.
Okay.
You know, like that's where usually if I'm comfortable, especially like while I'm working, I'm going to ramble the whole time. So it's just like that's kind of where you can see it getting more comfortable as it goes. The more rambly I get while I'm shaping, the more comfortable I probably have gotten throughout the process.
Okay.
And that's what makes the film kind of funny. Some of his maybe off-color remarks, but they're, you know, it's all pretty funny. And it's just Isaac being Isaac. And he's super knowledgeable about boards, too. So, like, he can talk to you forever about, you know, the nuances of shapes that I've never even thought about. He's interesting when you get him talking about surfboards. So that was a lot of, like, you know, you could be a main character in this. And I think he did an excellent job.
That's awesome. So it's at the International Film Festival, February 21st, the Block 4, right?
Yeah.
6:45.
Correct.
And the Sunshine Theater, and that whole day is surfing, so everyone needs to buy a ticket for at least Block 4. But you can buy Block 3 or even buy a couple blocks.
Yeah, I think it's Block 3 and 4 sold together, 1 and 2 sold together the whole day.
Oh, gotcha.
It's like a half day or something, but
okay.
Looks like some pretty rad films. Honestly, like we both probably feel a little out of place in it. Like, you know, there's some professional shit in those trailers, and you know, if you go and look at some of the people who did this stuff, like, you know, full production crews. Like, but me and Isaac did this by ourselves, and that was kind of part of the focus. Like, even down to the music. Like, I dabble in music and stuff, and like, you know, threw a couple of tracks in there from stuff that I've worked on in the past, and like it is just like homegrown, you know.
Yep.
I mean, it's pretty amateur. Like, it's not perfect. I would probably still make changes if I had time and stuff, but it's real, man, and that's really what I wanted to do. It's raw. It's shaping. It's Oceanside, and you know, I remember talking to Isaac when I watched these films. I was doing a lot of Instagram reel shit, and like, I was like, man, I just need to do something that's real and raw, and like, you're going to be that person that's organic and genuine and original. I think it turned out well in that regard. But
you guys said you met in the water. Did you guys become friends, or do you guys just become acquaintances? Like, what's the relationship between you two?
Yeah, so I think it was probably about a month after I met him that he came by to.
Oh,
It
it
was
was
probably
quick.
less than that before he came by to like start taking pictures in the shop. And
Okay.
this was when I was on the low end of being. This is hundreds of boards ago. Like this is,
Yes.
pretty new. And I honestly I hate seeing that board now so much, and he still has it. I hate it, but it's just one of those things. It was a pretty quick process of going from meeting him in the water to starting to do like some pictures and stuff, which was fun. So that's kind
Yeah.
of how it started. And well, that was
4 years ago.
yeah,
Almost.
3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, we've stayed in like pretty regular contact. I mean, if you surf Oceanside Pier or anything regularly, you kind of know, the
same
guys.
faces.
Same
yeah,
people every
exactly.
day,
So
yeah.
we'd see each other in the water all the time, and then it just kind of turned into like, I've never ridden a twin fin, so I need a fish. So watched him shape that board and took some videos of that, and then yeah, we've been friends like ever since. So it's been cool. It's been a good for friendship.
That sounds rad. When this movie premieres on February 21st at 6:45, what are you guys anticipating how you're going to feel when there's an actual audience in front?
I'm terrified.
Are you?
I'll feel so much better once we're done watching it, kind of thing. And it's like, and I know it's gonna be fine, but it's the same as like, like I figured it's the same as this right now, like the podcast. I
Yeah.
know as soon as we sat down, I'd be fine,
Right.
kind of thing. It's just like
Yeah.
everything leading up to that is just trying not to make an ass out of myself. And it's like I know I'm not gonna do that, but it's like the what ifs until it starts.
Yeah. What about, are you going to be watching the film, or are you going to be watching what the audience is like, what they're thinking, or both? Like, I don't know.
Man.
I'm wondering.
I mean, I'm kind of stoked to see it on a big screen.
Yeah, it's
It
gonna be a
might-
huge screen,
Might
yeah.
be the only time that I ever see something like I've done, and then Isaac's gonna have his face up there. So it's like, I don't know. That's gonna be cool to see, but I think it is gonna be like, huh? Are people gonna laugh at the same things that I found funny that we put into the film? You
Okay.
know? I don't know. There's a bit of nerves around it, but at this point, we're so far into it. It's just like, yeah, let's just
You're
let
in.
Let's let it happen and just get it over with.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I can tell. What about, are you guys going to be there for the Q&A?
I don't know if we're
Man.
gonna be up there. I don't even
Oh,
know
really?
if we want to.
You
be
guys
up there,
got to
but-
be up there.
I mean, we'll be in the
Lou will
audience,
get you guys
maybe,
up there.
but, we'll see.
How did you come up with the name of the movie?
Shit, I don't know.
It was an untitled thing for a long time.
Yeah.
Right, of course.
I just slapped the first word that made sense, and that we never even talked about it or changed it. But I don't know. I think it's bold, and between glass can mean a couple of different things, especially in the surf world, right? So you got glassy conditions, you got glass on the surfboard.
That's true.
I don't know. I like one word things. It's like,
Okay.
I think it looks good on a poster too. So it's.
In the process of making it, are you guys having like friends or family, or who's watching the film critiquing you guys? Or was it just you two and it is what it is?
Mostly his family, like more than anything.
Yeah, I ran the process through with Isaac as I put pieces together, right?
Okay.
So like, hey, here's the shaping piece. Here's the whole interview. Like, do you like how it went? Like, do you like what you said? And then really like my biggest sounding board was my sister, who's she's like 16 months younger than me. She's
okay.
she was more the artist one growing up. We haven't talked about it, but I'm actually a finance business analyst type of role. Like, camera work is my hobby. That job pays for the expensive camera gear. But
Yeah.
my sister was always the one who was like really creative. Went to art school.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She's doing like freaking quilting right now. Like she's just always into something cool, and we've always been into films, both of us. We were always passing films back and forth. In high school, we were always watching stuff together. So, I used her as a big sounding board throughout the process, and she gave me a lot of tips. She, the font for like the title and stuff like that. She just has like the little things that made it, I think, seem almost legit. So, yeah, big props to Katrina on that one.
In a dream life scenario, would you change careers? Into going to filmmaking from being in the financial business?
I told Isaac if we kept doing this, I was like, dude, you gotta learn how to edit, because this shit,
It's a lot of work.
This shit was so much editing. And I mean, part of it was learning the process, right? Like, I mean,
Yep.
I installed DaVinci Resolve as we were doing it. I was using Premiere in the past, but the new camera I got had certain codecs for the file formats I was using, and Premiere didn't take it. So I had to learn DaVinci, which I think is actually better at this point. I don't know, as it relates to like, would I pivot? I mean, maybe down the road. I am kind of burnt out on the finance thing. It's
Shh, you know what your boss is here.
yeah, I don't even care, man. It's also, it's a lot of work too, and a lot I don't know about video and photography and stuff. I'll have days where I'm like, shit, yeah, this would be cool, and then I have other days where I'm like, man, people are really good at this stuff, and they've been doing it for a while, like imposter syndrome, right? And I'm sure Isaac feels the same way with his board.
We all do.
So, I can't tell you how many times I got in my head about this film and like whether we should submit it or not, like whether I want to keep going and fixing things in it, whether I should just scrap the whole project. It feels good to finish something.
That's cool.
I'm pretty stoked. This week we heard some of our friends bought their tickets and stuff. So like, it's going to be cool to have a community around us, even if it does suck, but at least we got some people supporting us. And,
We'll for sure have enough people to at least get some people clapping,
Yeah.
No, stoked.
it's not going to be awkward silence, but,
Well, like I said, I haven't seen the film, but I saw the trailer and it looks rad. It truly
there's some
does.
cool shots in it. And Isaac's cool. The boards are cool. Yeah. So I think people will enjoy it for what it is.
So you kind of touched on base. What results would you want from this film for yourself, Isaac?
I mean, just more people to see them. They're weird boards and stuff like that,
Okay.
for sure. So it's like, I still have a second job right now kind of thing. So it's still in that process of trying to figure out if this is something we can even make work full time. And it's just like,
we make full-time filmmaking or shaping? Both.
mostly shaping, but kind
Mostly
of both.
shaping,
And,
okay.
it's just like after this is done, it's just like with filming, we can kind of figure out if there's a direction to go in, seeing people's reactions to this one and figuring out if it's something to like, keep working on with this kind of stuff. And as far as surfboards, it's just trying to keep getting it more and more out there. I don't want to bartend on the side anymore.
Really?
I'm
Staying up too late?
3 years sober. Like I hate. I'm still bartending because I've been doing it so long. It's been 12 years of doing it, so it's autopilot mode. But it's like not necessarily my ideal situation anymore.
Yeah. Let's talk about both of you guys' background. All right, Isaac.
So I, not originally from California. I was born in West Virginia, then grew up in Southern Illinois for the most part. Went surfing one time when I was like probably 12 or 13 or so and got kind of bit by that bug and made the decision that day that my whole life was going to be based around that forever. And it was. So I was a weird kid in high school, obviously. Everything I had was just sketches of surfboards. Like I carried around just like a book of graph paper all the time, and every single page in it was just surfboards, like, cover to cover. We had some wave setups and stuff through the Midwest, so it was doing a lot of that, like kind of teaching lessons and that kind of stuff growing up. Skipping a lot of school. Very understanding parents. Shout out Mom and Dad. Thank you for letting me leave school for weeks at a time to go surf.
Wow, that's cool. That is nice.
I mean, it was just one of those things of, just figure out how to be out here. I didn't know anybody here before coming here kind of thing, so it was, a tough place to try to get into not knowing anybody. And then some little side quests. Lived in Montana for a while. Snowboard times of life. Got real sick of winter and stopped going back and forth between there and here and just kind of stayed here.
What made you pick Oceanside? Not Huntington, not Malibu?
It was an accident.
Okay.
So I had come into Oceanside quite a few times to surf. I didn't know anything about Oceanside other than I like surf and beach break. So it's just like, that's what I knew about Oceanside. It's a fun beach break. Me and my brother moved out here together. We had another roommate situation. We were supposed to move into a house in Ventura. Didn't know that this other roommate had we didn't get the spot last minute, So it's just like, we got all our shit down here. Like I got 2 motorcycles and a bunch of surfboards in the back of my truck and just everything I own. We're, bouncing around from hotel to camp spot and whatever.
Yeah.
And we took the first house that we found that was cheap and
affordable.
Yeah, close enough to the beach and stuff. We moved into, and it was here in Oceanside. Like I still live in the same neighborhood that we needed something in a hurry. That was the first thing that came up, and we're just like, oh, let's see how it goes. So that's kind of how we ended up here for the most part.
What's your thoughts on Oceanside?
I love it.
Okay.
I can't imagine living anywhere else in Southern California. Like I think it's good for me. It's still kind of, as far as coastal Oceanside, it still feels like a town. Getting close to either city is pretty overwhelming. Like LA's more people than I've never been to anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, even San Diego's a lot. Like that's a lot to handle. It's a lot of people. It's huge. So it's like Oceanside is perfect as it's so far from either one. That's awesome. Still kind of has a town feel to it. And I mean, that was kind of the big, the big thing about it. A lot of cool like scenes about it. Like I love motorcycles, I love surfing, and it is a perfect spot to be into motorcycles and surfing and all that.
Cool. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, man, I was born in the suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia. So, pretty landlocked state for the most part.
Yeah, how far is the ocean? Miles.
Yeah, I used to drive either like 4.5 hours south to Florida or 4.5 hours north to Carolina.
Wow.
Typically during hurricane swells, when I finally got into surfing. But my dad grew up, pretty close to the shores on Long Island, big surfer with his brothers out there between like Montauk, Ditch Plains, and Gilgo and stuff like that. So, I guess I had it in my blood, didn't know it until I was probably 25 or something like that. But being in Georgia, I grew up wakeboarding. So we had a little place on the lake, and that was kind of my thing for most of middle school, high school, a little bit after college. So went from wakeboarding to wake surfing with some buddies that I met up there. It was easier not to get hurt wake surfing than it was wakeboarding. I was into all the flips and big airs and stuff like that. So wake surfing was a pretty gradual shift to like, okay, this is chill. I can have a few beers and just like, relax. Then I went to Costa Rica with those guys. And after that, it was like, man, I don't want to be behind a boat anymore. So gradually started surfing more in, Florida, all the places that I could get to by driving. And then started taking trips. I spent like a month in Morocco.
Wow.
A couple trips to Hawaii, Puerto Rico, stuff like that. And then it was one of those things where like, I can't get good enough like how good I want to be just traveling, and kept trying to convince my wife like, let's move to Hawaii, let's move to California, let's do something. So like finally after COVID, we checked out Oceanside. I came out here to pick up some boards from a super brand. Yeah, just surfed Oceanside, and this was like before the hotels were built and all that. And, it was like, man, this place is chill. It's rad. Like the waves are pretty good. Let's just come out here for a year. So I was like, just give me a year. I just want to surf regularly for a year. And it's been 4. No, shout out to my wife, Elena, for, entertaining the crazy idea coming out here. We uprooted everything. We got no family out here, but, some of the people we met feel like family around here now. So
yeah, that's cool.
Isaac for sure as well.
It's a 5-hour flight. It's not that far.
It's not bad, man. And who doesn't want to come to the beach? So,
I haven't been home since. my wife's never seen my hometown before.
Really?
Every time we've ever tried to visit my hometown, like my parents still live in Southern Illinois, like just east of St. Louis. We've tried to visit so many times, and every single time we've tried to visit, it's like, no, we're coming there. Like,
They don't.
We're coming to the
sun.
beach.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to see it here.
So you were talking about you were supposed to stay 1 year. You've been here 4. Do you have plans to leaving again, or are you just like home for now?
Man, I go back and forth all the time. It's like one end I feel bad from running away from home, but on the other side, it's like, this place suits me a lot better. I would have never made a film back in Atlanta. I wouldn't have gotten this good at surfing. I wouldn't have met the people that I've met out here, which I think I fit in a little bit more with. So I don't really want to go back. I think the plans are hopefully to stick it out and find something here long term.
Isaac, so you said you got shape in way back when you were 13 or whatever in Illinois.
Yeah.
When did you really get into shaping? And how'd that happen?
Like, I made my first board that actually surfed really well, I feel like, at the beginning of COVID.
Okay.
And then it was, we had a little shed in the backyard, put up some lights, kind of set up a little makeshift shaping bay. I could make anything like under 7 foot. It was tiny.
Yeah.
From there, moved to a different spot that had a garage that we weren't going to use, so converted that to a shaping bay where now I can do, wider range of things, big boards and all that. So I did that for a few years there. Slowly ran out of space, which is, like kind of a good problem to have. And then we've been in our kind of barn setup for a little over a year now. I think it was like December 24 or something that I moved in there.
The label of the brand of your surfboards is Wild West Surf Company?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How'd you come up with that name?
It's fitting just where we're at. It's such a weird situation because there is like a little equine like park in the middle of Oceanside.
Yeah.
So it's just me and a bunch of horses essentially. The barn that I rent out at one point was a little surf shop, like shaping bay glass room and all that.
Okay.
And then one of my friends took it over. It was his wood shop for the last like 3 years. And then his company got bought out. They moved him to a bigger facility. I kind of got grandfathered into a really,
Nice.
really cheap shop rent situation.
Nice.
But from the outside, it just looks like a barn. From the inside, I mean, it's legit, like shaping bay, all that kind of stuff. It's cool. But as soon as you walk out the door, yeah, the horses and
I mean, it's really endless on what kind of boards you can shape. Where do you think your specialty lies?
twins and singles.
Okay. Single fins.
I love single fins.
Really interesting.
So it's
Super hard to ride. But
it's one of those things. And like I surf twins more often than I surf singles. Like I'm on a twin probably 90% of the time. But it's one of those things of, I don't know, singles, there's something about it, you know? It's just like when I go back and watch clips of myself surfing, which, you know, everybody's super critical. It's probably never a good idea to go back and watch clips of
That's a
myself
great
surfing.
idea.
But
It makes you better.
I'll go watch it, and it's like I surf twins most of the time, but every time I watch clips of myself surfing a single fin, I'm like, man, I look so much cool. I just look way cooler on the single fin.
Okay.
So I'm like, I got to dive a little deeper into that. Man, I love them.
Tell us why you look cooler. Is it style? Is
Yeah,
it?
I just feel like style-wise, it always, like, single fins, when I'm on them, I feel like I look a little more, like, natural and fluid and stuff like that. Just a lot easier going and things like that. Doesn't look like I'm trying too hard when I'm on the singles and stuff like that. And I feel like there's a lot to learn with the single fins, you know, as far as, you know, you're not pumping them and driving them, but it's really good as far as getting to know wave placement really well and just kind of putting those boards in that spot for them to do their thing. But no, they're fun. I didn't even get it really into single fins until like, it was probably like 4 or 5 years ago that I even really started riding them for the first time. And then I love it. I think it's a good time.
So your boards are a little smaller, a little wider. How would you describe your favorite board or what most people are ordering from you?
Yeah, so these little juice boxes are essentially it's a high performance adaptation of a mini Simmons kind of template.
Got it. They look sick.
Yeah.
I need to get one.
My first not normal board, you know, my first not thruster was a mini Simmons. Oh my God, I fell in love with that board so fast. I'm not going to surf in a contest or anything like that. I just want to go as fast as I can and get as many waves as possible in a day and kind of have a good time. And it's like, that board does exactly that. I can't do the best snap I've ever done on a mini Simmons kind of thing. But no, just like the feeling and the experiences those boards provide back to me was what was really fun. And then these boards kind of came of, I want to ride a mini Simmons, but I want to get vertical with it. You know, I want to be able to actually like, you know, throw around a lot of water and do snaps and all that. So that's kind of what we transitioned to, a lot of these like high performance-esque, mini Simmons-esque kind of things. And then fish. Everybody loves fish. Right?
Yeah. How do you pick your fins and the placement of the fins? So are you doing FCS? Are you doing futures?
I'm a futures guy.
Okay.
I love...
So will you put FCS in boards? If people ask or no?
If people ask, but as far as like stock boards that I'm making, I'm not going to do FCS unless it's on request. With FCS and twins, I'm just not huge on the twin tab thing, and I'm a bigger, like, for a surfer, like bigger. I'm over 200 pounds and stuff like that. So it's like,
I'm tall.
Man, I've broken enough sets of FCS twins off right at the tabs to be, you know, it's like futures. I trust the long tab on especially if it's a keel fin. I'm going to trust the long tab more because I lost my set of MR twins in the first 2 waves that I had them. I broke them right off the tab so fast. So all futures for me since then.
If someone comes and approaches you, well, how do they contact you? Online? At Instagram or something?
Yeah, mostly just Instagram and then just referrals from other people.
If they want to do an experimental board and they want to talk to you, are you trying new stuff?
Yeah. I will make anything that's asked for.
Okay.
You know, it's like I have my style that I lean towards heavily, which is going to be mostly like, you know, these little square boards and the singles and stuff.
Again, they look sick.
I mean, I'm down to make whatever someone needs. You know?
Yeah.
I'll do nose riders. Like I like making nose riders. I don't nose ride well. That's not
Are
my
you
jam.
talking like a 9 foot plus board? Or are you talking like
nine to 10, like 9 to 10.6 range kind of thing.
Okay.
So I love making them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you got to have the right wave for that board. What's the feedback you're getting?
With the little squares, they're just unbelievably fast and the paddle's good. Like I think the feedback with a lot of people, and Chris will tell you because it was the same reaction he had, is most people are surprised on getting on the little short stubby squares the first time because it took me forever to convince him to ride one. And then it was like all of 2 waves in before he decided that he needed, you know, kind of one of those in the quiver. I think people see the like the blunt square nose and it's just so kind of out of most people's realm of things that I think the square nose is kind of a bit intimidating. People are uncertain about it, but I think it is surprisingly easy and normal and straightforward. It doesn't feel weird. It doesn't feel as weird as the nose on them looks or anything like that. So I think a lot of people are surprised at just how easy and kind of regular they can surf them.
Let's say a guy that's been surfing for a while, he wants to order these boards. Do you like actually check his weight? What are you looking for to figure out how to shape that board for that guy or gal?
So I'm not a huge volume guy. I'm into the surface area idea, not necessarily into the volume idea kind of thing. And it's just like, for the most part, I'm just experimenting, especially with myself and friends and people I know and loaning boards out and stuff like that. It's like a pretty good idea on like what size of these is going to fit a certain person and their ability. You know, I'm 6'3" and 200 pounds, and I ride a 5'3" or a 5'4" in these kind of things. So we keep them pretty short and stuff. And usually I try to get people to go a little shorter than they think they
feel.
Yeah. You know, a lot of people see 5'4" and they're just like, there's no way. You know what I mean?
That was the biggest thing for me. It was like when I'd be out there and Isaac would be on these square boards and they're like 5'5", 5'6", and like I typically ride like a 6'0" thruster or something like that. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna even catch any waves. Like, so I don't even want to try your board. But,
I try to loan them out a lot. Just like, I think that's the easiest way for me to really do that is just like, you just throw someone on it and it's just like, you know.
Then they understand the feeling that you're trying to show them or tell them. Makes sense.
Yeah, you kind of just got to try it out. I get a lot of questions on this blue one all the time. Everybody's like, "Oh, it looks like a fun board," or like, "What's the point of the flat nose?" I'm like, really nothing. It's just
you just don't need anything up there.
You just don't need a lot of rocker.
No, and they're pretty like uniform. They're all 3 inches in the nose, 1.5 inches in the tail. It just works. It's just enough rocker to where you can get like you can get pretty vertical with it. I never have any issues as far as putting the noses of these under, even with it being like at pretty flat.
Is there a certain condition wave it works better in? If it's 5 foot and grinding north side of the pier, is it going to work as well as it on a 3 foot kind of mushy day? Like,
I'll ride them up to about shoulder to head high, and then after that, obviously, it's a lot of surface area. It gets a little like skimboardy and kind of like skippy across the water. But I mean, if it's big and high tide and rolly, like I'll take them out. They'll handle like overhead if you're on like a big roller kind of thing.
Nice.
They're easy to generate some speed on.
Yeah, I'll surf them every day, anything up to head high for the most part.
When you've been seeing yourself on film, do you see how your boards perform and maybe change things on your shaping?
Yeah.
Like I'll try this a little more.
Yeah. These have gone through a lot of variations to get these to where they're at, like more or less rocker and things like that, more or less like width in the nose and tail, and all that kind of stuff. I've moved the fins forward and backward on them. I've changed fin
they're close to the rails. The fins are pretty close to the
Yeah.
rails.
I've moved my fins forward and backwards quite a bit, and I've tried a bunch of different like fin outlines and templates and things. A lot of, trial and error for the most part.
If I order a board and I get it shaped, are you going to suggest what fins are going to work best for that board?
A keel's going to be ideal.
Gotcha.
It's because it's still Simmons leaning.
Yeah.
I'll surf them with uprights on occasion, on like a mega oversized upright kind of thing. If it's like kind of big out and I don't need a whole lot of drive from it, then I'll run like just a long upright, like the Schroff uprights or something like that.
Okay.
But for the most part, it's made for keels. Everybody just kind of throws keels in it. I usually just throw the CI keels in all of them, or glass-ons. They were real good.
Oh, you do glass-ons?
Yeah.
Are you making those fins? Or are you buying the fins?
Usually just get them from I'm just saying glass shop. Everybody's going to do fiberglass supply on down in the industrial park.
Gotcha.
That, or I'll get them from just whoever, like 101 or Fins Unlimited.
Are you doing start to finish, or are you just doing the shaping?
Start to finish.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
You're putting the glass on and everything.
Yep.
So people can order how much glass they want on it. And...
Yeah.
Cool. So everybody, Wild West Surf Company. I'll put the link on the show notes. And then Chris, what's the future of your filmmaking and photography? Do we know yet?
I guess we'll see how this one goes first. We'll see what kind of feedback we get. And so when my sister watched the final version of this particular one, she wanted to know like what happens to Isaac afterwards. So I think there's potential, like if people are interested in seeing like, follow-ups to this from like, maybe a YouTube type of thing or something, if it makes sense, that could be cool. Like just to see how the company progresses and, Isaac as a person, it's been cool to watch him grow over the last 3 years, from going straight up sober and everything like that. And, just watching his life take different turns and go different ways. Like I think people would be interested in seeing Isaac as a character. So like there's potential for that. this one burned me out so much that like I haven't really touched my camera. So like
We're waiting.
Yeah, we've been kind of talking about that.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's just like I don't really know what to do. So we'll see. I still do some photography stuff. I actually have a photo in like a COVID gallery downtown right now.
Oh,
And,
wow. Okay, cool.
I still don't know what I want to do with it, man. Very up and down, but
So it's a hobby to make this film,
Mhm.
right? And it's your first film. If it became a job, like you were actually making money, and let's just say everything went well for you, would it take the fun out of it?
that's what I'm kind of worried about, and that's what I read a lot about, right? Like,
Right.
I'll go on Reddit and I'll look
You
at
think you get the dream job and it's not.
yeah. And the more that I do it for money, like I'm not making anything crazy with it, like, maybe
Right.
$200 here or there, but that's not the stuff that I want to shoot, right? It's like that's what you get paid for, to shoot the stuff you don't really want to shoot. Like
Yeah.
the passion projects are what really make it fun, man, and like doing what you want with the camera. That's why I bought it. I honestly like bought it because like I'm an egotistical surfer and wanted my wife to shoot photos of me out there, right? So like, but then I realized like, shit, I got this $5,000 camera. Like I should probably learn how to use it. And so like, that's really been the progression of it. I've always liked photography, but bought this camera really just strap a somewhat long lens onto it and get some photos of me surfing. Yeah, it's been a journey for about 10 years of just learning photography, and then videography is a whole nother thing. I don't know. We'll see where it goes from here. I don't know. Hopefully this is received well and people like it.
He is also a lot better than he's going to give himself credit for.
Of course.
So,
Yeah, it makes sense. Is there a future for this particular film? Are you going to put it in more festivals? Or what do you think the plan is?
We've kind of talked about that. Like,
Or straight to YouTube?
I don't know. Like, I might change it up a little bit and just really dial it in for what I think like the audience on YouTube might be. But I don't know. We've been told we should maybe submit it to more festivals just because like Oceanside is a cool spot. It highlights, a bit of the culture here and just the general vibe of the place. And then, I do think it's still kind of like a cool, just like 13-minute film about a, just dude from Illinois and shaping surfboards in a barn. Like, it's
cool.
just like, it's random and it's, it's a cool little story. So I don't know.
Would you look for other stories? Not necessarily. I'm not to say Isaac's not a great
Sure.
star, like mountaineering, or I don't know, or even more surfing, or you want to stay in sailing or whatever.
I did meet this kid, right when I got this camera. I was over by the Oceanside train station. I actually think I was walking to the film festival last year when I saw this dude hitting those. I don't even know what they are. They're not really benches, but they're like curved double stacked benches at the concrete benches at the Oceanside Transit Center. And it's like, I've seen him on Thrasher and stuff like that hitting it, but like usually when I'm walking by and I see skaters there, they're not really getting it. This kid, I think his name's like Monty on board on Instagram or something, but he was crushing it. And like, I took a few photos of him. I wanted to reach out to him for this film, and I actually did, but I never I actually got a concussion during like halfway through this process from surfing. So like I wanted to reach out to a number of people and get more footage just around town. Couldn't really put the time in for it. I would like to actually reach out to this dude, Monty, and see if he'd be interested in doing a skate film. Maybe more to come on that one. That's been the only one that's kind of been in the back of my head.
You guys are from different parts of the country. You're here in Southern California. It's 80 degrees. How does your family, are they jealous? Obviously, you said your family comes out here.
Yeah, they come out here quite a bit.
Isaac, do they understand this lifestyle? Do they understand the film? Does the film tell a story that the rest of the world, or at least the nation, can understand?
I think so, man. Like
Okay.
it is definitely, I don't know. Surfing's a trap. I think anybody will tell you. You get into it and like you don't really get out, and it kind of starts to consume your life a little bit. At least in Isaac and my eyes, both moving from East Coast, landlocked states, and just in the pursuit of catching a wave. I know my dad gets it. He's a surfer. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure my mom misses me. I know my sisters miss me and everything. They come out when they can. There's certain places you just can't do certain things. So, like, we pay the tax for it out here for sure. It's just a lifestyle.
Being from Atlanta, which is it's a huge city in the suburbs. I'm sure there's probably millions of people that live in that general area. They have to have a film festival. You got to put it in there.
Yeah, man.
Like your hometown-ish.
Honestly, I never really thought about it. And it's probably because you say, it's a big melting pot, big city, big, it's not walkable. It's all scattered in different places that like, I never went to a film festival before. I knew they exist,
Right.
Sundance, Cannes, whatever. I just like, being in this small, eclectic community and being able to walk over to, Brooks Theater and catch a film festival is like,
Sweet. It's so fun.
it's just like the nature of where we live, and like it's opened my mind up to a lot of things, and just opportunities in general. Shit, like even being on this podcast is like, it's just something that I don't think would have happened back in Atlanta because all I did was focus on my day to day and my job, and like, how do I get out of this? And finally I just took the chance and got out here. So I don't even know, I'm rambling now, but like,
this whole interview, you've kind of already said it, but I want to hear, how does it feel actually being here? Is it like a dream come true, or has there been like a roller coaster, or like highs and lows?
Oh, I would totally say roller coaster, man. Like,
really? Okay.
Again, like a part of like the imposter syndrome, like not even just in videography, but like photography, but also in a town that is, tight knit, and there's a lot of culture here, and there's
generations of people.
Like, we've looked at this place gentrify over the last, I've only been here for 4 years. I've been in and out of here for like 5. Even in that short period of time, just watching the gentrification of this area, it's kind of a bummer. Things are changing. Places are closing. People are moving out. We're getting pushed out because of the prices, and there's more people in the water. You start to think like, man, I'm from Atlanta. Like, I'm part of the problem too. Like I came out here.
That's what my brother says. You start seeing too many long-haired dudes with mustaches moving in. It's about to get expensive and everything.
I've struggled with that, but
at the end of the day, it is what it is, though.
It is. I mean, if it's not me, someone else is going to move here. And so, like, I at least try to give back and be cool. And, I have friends from outside of the state, and I have friends that have lived here their whole lives. And I try to mesh with everybody. I try to be chill. I'm not really here to get in anybody's way. It's like anything. It's like moving somewhere else is, it's a big change. I'm just grateful for the people that have made me part of this community and the friends that I've made. And it's, it feels like home now. So.
Isaac, what about you? Same question.
So I guess, obviously there's always going to be ups and downs. It's expensive. It's not the easiest place in the world to, figure out life and get by and all that.
Yep.
The board thing's fun, but it's up and down. I have good months. I have bad months. I'm not always making money. I still have a second job.
Yep.
The big thing I try to think about is like, man, 15-year-old me would be so stoked to know that this is like where I am and like what my life is at the moment. And that's kind of what I try to, grand scheme of things. Yeah, I think, childhood me would say that I am living kind of the dream right now.
Okay, there you go. If you were looking back, you didn't know your future would be this.
No, it seemed like an impossible thing. And
and here we are.
If all you're doing is writing every paper in high school about surfboards and surf culture and stuff like that, it's like there's not a lot of words of encouragement there. There's not a lot of people who believe that that's a thing that's going to happen to a kid from Illinois.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny you say that because like my dad saves everything, and he sent me like a paper I wrote in high school about like, what my future is going to look like. And pretty much it's exactly like this. And it's weird. It's really weird.
So you made your dream happen.
Yeah. So I think we both did. And
that's rad. That is the rad. That is super cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're fortunate. I mean, to even have found this place and just been accepted for the most part, right? I mean, we still don't surf Northside too much, but
there you go. Real quick, what's your dad's name?
My dad's name is George Brosan.
So George Brosan, how hard was it from him moving to Long Island and surfing to go to Atlanta?
Man,
did that change his life?
That's a huge change. That's a huge culture shock, and that was
kind of went opposite of you, backwards.
Yeah. Like, man, like looking back, I'm like, man, you should have stayed in New York or like moved to California. Like, why didn't you come to Oceanside like 40 years ago, man? But he moved there for, I guess, a different life, a different chance. New York was even expensive back then, and where he moved, I think it was dirt roads back then where we grew up, and now it's pretty big and populated and everything like that. So probably was a really big adjustment for him. I remember all of our vacations were to the Outer Banks, with my uncles and stuff. I didn't really get it back then. I didn't know surfing. Yeah, like now it all makes sense, like where our vacations were. They were all around decent wave spots on the East Coast.
That's right.
I'm sure he lost a little bit moving south. We had a good time, like riding dirt bikes and, got me into wakeboarding and all that type of stuff. So we made it work.
Right on. So Isaac, you talked about sobriety. He brought up, Chris has brought up your sobriety. Why did you get sober?
It's one of those things. So I've been bartending for a long time. Like I've been bartending for 12 years. Like I'm from a state you can start bartending at 18 in
Oh,
Southern
wow.
Illinois. Yeah, so
Really?
yeah, so Illinois and Montana and Missouri, you're allowed to bartend at 18 years old, which is crazy. You're still not allowed to drink, obviously, but it's one of those things. I've worked in the bar world for a long time. You know, just like regular consumption is so much ingrained in that profession. For the most part, most bars, you're allowed to have some drinks while you're working. It's just, I mean, it's pretty typical. I've only worked at maybe 2 bars ever that, you know, dry bars, like no one working is allowed to have anything to drink. And it's one of those things, my whole circle of people was other bartenders from other places. So it's like you're drinking while you're working, and then your friends work at the other bars, and you're probably not going to get charged there, so you're just drinking for free there. And it's just like, it's the regularness of it, and then all of a sudden you just kind of one day realize that you've been drinking 7 days a week for a long time. I don't know. I made the decision. I was hammered when I made the decision to get sober. I told my wife, this was before we were married. I just thought I was halfway through a beer, and I was like, this is gonna be the last drink I ever have.
Really?
And I haven't had a drink since then.
Wow.
Like I wasn't blacking out or anything. I was never sloppy. Like I've never had any like legal trouble or anything like that. It was more so just recognizing that pattern and that things were kind of progressing. So it's just like, was able to get out of it before it was like deep enough to where it was like, you know, I didn't have to go to like, not going to like a facility or something like that.
All right. You felt like you needed a change.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Yeah. And it was getting in the way of things because I was looking more forward to going out than I was to waking up and surfing. So then all of a sudden I'm not waking up till 11 to go surf. And like before the regularity of drinking, I used to be 5:45 paddle out every morning. And then it's just like started kind of replacing that with staying out all the time.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then it's like the mornings kept getting later and later. And I feel like my ability with shaping and surfing was not doing well because it's kind of not where my brain was. I was more so focused on
Good for you.
once 5 or 6 o'clock rolled around, then I could go out again, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
In the rough draft of the film, we actually talked about this a little bit.
Oh, did you? Okay.
And Isaac gave some his thoughts on it as well. And like, yeah, it's definitely been cool to see him like, you know, go from that to this and in a very like, you know, kind of precise moment of like, oh shit, Isaac's just not drinking anymore. And it's been actually an inspiration on me. I don't know. I wouldn't say I've ever had a problem with it or anything, but like it does get in the way. Like whether it's, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday or something, like you look forward to that, like, oh yeah, 5 o'clock, I'm ready for a drink. But
100%.
but it does impact your surfing abilities for sure. You know, I've recognized it and I've gone up and down with it. You know, I guess this is the end of January, so I've made it a month, kind of plan to keep it going on this one as well. So it's just ingrained in, you know, the U.S. culture so much. And like, I think people are finally waking up to it a little bit where it's like, you know, maybe I don't need all this to have fun. And like, maybe like I can focus more on important things in my life or, you know, avoid some drama by not including this in my life. So it's, you know, I'm not saying I'm never going to have another drink. I don't know. I definitely feel like this year is going to be different, and every year I've drank less. So it's an improvement. So I don't know. Props to Isaac for 3 years. That's we're 4 years now. I can't remember.
It's a good time. It's boring after 9 o'clock at night, so we go to bed early now.
Go to bed early. Get up earlier.
Yeah. I'm in the water early. I feel good as soon as I wake up. You know.
Yeah, social life suffers a bit, but like
But like the morning routine is now fat. Like I'm in the water within like 30 minutes of waking up. You know what I mean? Like the wake ups are so fast again, which is cool. I feel like I went backwards in age a little bit.
Yeah, that's rad. So you guys are both married. What does your wife say about surfing, and then does that interfere on your day-to-day life at all? Or does you guys negotiate? Like,
My wife likes to sleep, so she loves it.
so you go surf.
I
you
wake
come
her up
back.
when I come back.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
yeah.
What about you, Chris?
Man, you know, back to like living here, my wife's at this point of like encouraging me to just stay. She realizes the impact surfing has on my life, my mood, just physical and mental health. I think it's a great thing to kind of release stress and energy and just be with the water. She, more than anything at this point, is encouraging us to not move and to stay here. So like I appreciate that and you know how she feels about like something that's a big part of my life. She used to come watch a lot. She used to come shoot a lot. I stopped asking her as much when we filmed the surf part of this film, because that was the worst part. I think it's like it's not fun standing in the sand watching somebody else have fun out there, even though I can't tell you how many times we tried. This was like the biggest lull during the film.
Oh my gosh!
Like we were trying to wrap this shit up, and like
Couldn't get the right footage on it.
And we didn't. I wouldn't say we even necessarily got good surf footage. It was down to submissions were in 2 days,
decent enough, yeah.
and we had to settle for some 2 to 3 foot and kind of onshore.
It's not a surf film,
right?
It is a
It's a storytelling.
shaping story film. But there is some surf on this blue board, which is cool because it goes from a blank to Isaac out there on the water with it. But yeah, man, we struggled to get that surf footage and. I don't blame my wife for not wanting to stand there with a heavy camera anymore. It's not fun.
Isaac, what's the big town next to your town? It sounds like you're kind of in the country where you grew up.
St. Louis was the closest big city.
And how far is that away?
Honestly, not far. Like you could see the skyline of St. Louis. We could see the outline of the arch off in the distance.
Suburb, kind of?
But yeah, with Illinois, it goes, or Illinois and Missouri, it goes from St. Louis to cornfield so fast.
Got it.
I mean, like you can be in a cornfield and be less than 10 minutes from downtown St. Louis kind of thing. So it goes really quickly from the city to, a lot of that. I was in Missoula when I lived in Montana for a while, and that's the second biggest city there. And at the time I lived there, it was a little over 60,000 people, which I'm sure it's probably, who knows, triple.
Yeah, everyone from California moved there.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think buying in Missoula probably costs about the same as buying in Oceanside nowadays.
Probably, yeah. So, with that being said, would you want this film to be shown in a film festival in St. Louis?
It'd be neat. It's one of those things. I mean, it'd for sure
you
be.
You pick and choose where you want it.
It'd for sure be original for something in St.
100%.
Louis. You know what I mean? Like I'm probably fairly confident in saying that I'm the only person from Southern Illinois who's at least regularly shaped surfboards, if has shaped any surfboards, So it'd for sure be their only film of someone from there kind of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'd probably be kind of funny. Like it'd be fun to see how it goes over.
But we wing this thing so much that like, we never even thought past like
Oceanside
or like maybe throwing it out there on YouTube, right?
It all happened.
I think
YouTube,
fast. In my opinion, YouTube you can do that in a year.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to go in today.
Fair enough.
And when we just watched my childhood best friend and his younger brother, they put out their first film last year.
Okay.
I mean, and they blew up.
Dude,
like they're
you need to watch
they're
this.
on millions of views and everything on their first
What's the name?
long project. It's called Listers.
Okay. What's it about?
It's a deep dive into
extreme
the
bird
world
watching.
of extreme and
I've heard
competitive
that
bird
movie.
watching. Have you really?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. So
I heard it's like
it's phenomenal.
There's surf movies. I don't know. Yes, I've heard it on a surf podcast actually talking about it.
No way.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, and it's
I
hilarious
heard it's phenomenal.
too. Yeah,
it's well done.
It's 2
Very
hours
well
long.
done.
It's a full.
They
full
walked
film.
away from life and just made this film, right?
So they bought a 2007 Kia minivan. Then they
I know this. I have never seen it.
Yeah, so the contest is called the Big Year.
Okay.
It's a nationwide, in the lower 48. You just have to try to spot the most species of birds in the United States over the course of a year. They didn't know anything about it. They just said, screw it, this will be funny.
Yeah.
Like, so they signed up for it, and they spent a whole year driving this minivan around the country like 5 times.
That's rad.
They just filmed everything, and it was a lot of like, I don't think the intention was necessarily a movie in the beginning, but they ended up with like 16 terabytes of footage or something like that.
Okay.
So it was just like, okay, so they put it together into like a full 2-hour movie. They're the biggest thing in bird watching, which is really fun.
That's right. Okay, so the movie's called Listers.
Listers, yeah.
Okay, and who's it made by?
My friend and his brother. It's Quentin and Owen Reiser.
Okay. So everyone needs to see. I heard it. I'm going to watch it this week.
Yeah.
That's rad. That's
fully. Like I don't know.
It was a little inspirational for us and stuff like that. Watching that and being like, holy crap!
It dropped like halfway through when we were doing it. I'm like, man, we should just stop now. But no, it's very well done. It's man, I don't think anybody says like, oh yeah, I'm going to sit down and watch a 2-hour movie about bird watching. And I was even apprehensive, but man, like it's really cool. It's funny. It's funny, but it's also it tells you a lot about this. I don't even know if you call it a sport,
or whatever it is,
a hobby thing. Yeah. But it's like it's huge. People are huge about it, and like here's a couple of kids who didn't know shit about it, and
end up getting all in it.
Yeah, and they do a great job. So.
Right on. Any final words from you guys? Yeah, I think everyone needs to go see this film. Are you guys looking forward to any particular film during that day of the 21st of the surf lifestyle film makes?
There's a lot of them. Like if you look at the trailers, they all look really good, honestly, and like all from different angles of surfing, which is 100%. Cool. So like, I can't pick like one for sure. I think that SIBO one looks really really rad, and there's just a lot of them that just look like they're shot so well, which kind of makes me feel like, oh, here I am, just one person with a camera. And I'm right next to this like feature film that's really good. But I think all of them look really quality. So
I'm excited. Like this is
there one you want to see?
I mean, I haven't necessarily looked through the full thing yet.
Okay.
I'm just kind of in the dark on most everything except for like what I was doing in it, which was shaping a board.
Fair.
It's
Fair
a good
enough.
spot for me to be in, and it's like I'll look through everything like that week. I keep having to get reminded of when it all is and stuff like that. I'm
We got a
very
month.
terrible planner, but
yeah, about a month out. So
no, but I'm excited. I mean, just watching like some of the previews that have been posted and look like that, it looks like there's some really good surf movies in there.
Yeah, it's going to be a good day. All right, everybody. So I would like to thank Chris Brosan and Isaac Cluphf. It's a rad name. Okay, real quick. Last name, how'd it come about?
That was a misspelling. However many generations ago in immigration, the last name is supposed to be Klough, Klough. Somehow in the immigrating process, got changed to Cluphf.
It's a weird spelling.
And we are the only Cluphf family in the world.
That's rad, though.
So
There
it's
you
just
go.
like, yeah, and none of my siblings or my cousins on my dad's side have any kids and have plans to have kids. So it's just like we're the only hope.
Oh, yeah. You don't want that name dying down.
yeah, you got to keep that one.
Yeah.
going.
For sure.
So,
Interesting. All right.
The pressure's on.
Well, good luck there. All right, everybody. So thanks, Chris. Thanks, Isaac. Everyone, go to the International Film Festival. Go on their website. I'll post it, and you guys can get your tickets, and we'll see you guys in a little while. All righty, guys. Thanks.
Later on.
Later.
You go left, I go right. Man, this wave is out of sight. Going surfing, going surfing, going surfing with friends. Ride this wave to the shore. Paddle out, I'm gonna catch 10 more. Going surfing, going surfing, going surfing with friends. I don't care if it's wrong or right. I'm gonna do it all day. I'm gonna do it all night. I'm going surfing, going surfing, going surfing with friends. Watching up on my way. It's a beautiful day. I'm going surfing. I'm going surfing. Going surfing with